comes to crypto gaming, there are few games that survived the bear market. One of them being Illuvium. And not only did they survive, they have thrived, almost hitting brand new all-time highs in terms of market cap. We're going to be touching base on my personal price predictions for the 2024-2025 bull market. If you enjoy this kind of content, as always, like and subscribe. We're on a warpath to #1 in the crypto gaming space. And without further ado, let's get into it. So I want to start this off by talking about where we're at with Illuvium, because there's a lot to say here, and to dumb it down in a 10-minute video, it's going to be hard, but let's try it out. Right now, it's at a quote-unquote $517 million market cap. And why I say quote-unquote is because if you look at websites, they have differing amounts of market caps. And now you're going to be like, oh no, this is getting complicated. But no, I'm going to simplify this for you. The reason that there are different market caps on different websites is because different websites use different ways of tracking market caps. The real, and this is what the Illuvium team is using, the real market cap for Illuvium right now is actually $856 million, because the current circulating supply for Illuvium is 6.3 million Illuvium tokens versus what CoinMarketCap goes ahead and says 3.7 million Illuvium tokens. So please look at your sources so you can make sure that you're finding the appropriate information. So we've just gotten context on that. The volume, it's been really solid. There's no denying it. The fully diluted market cap, it's around $1 billion at this point, 1.3 billion, depending on where you get it from. And in my humble opinion, I have this thesis of crypto gaming, and maybe this is going to be a little bit too far-fetched, but I could see the crypto gaming industry being worth over $500 billion by the end of this bull cycle. So, to say the least, the ones that are going to be the top performers will have astronomical prices in this cycle. We're nowhere near done.
We're done when I say we're done.
So let's talk about some other things that you should probably know in regards to Illuvium before we get into the actual coin, what it's used for, the games they're in, the quality product, etc. So emissions are important. Token unlocks, it's the #1 thing that I look at when it comes to coins when I'm doing my preliminary research, because knowing when token unlocks are happening, it gives you the information you need to understand how many tokens are being thrown at the wind, how much inflation is happening, how can I prepare for this? So right now, there is a 59% unlock of the total supply for Illuvium, which is really good. I mean, check out most of the different crypto gaming tokens. You're going to see numbers that are drastically different, and they're much lower. There's a lot less of the supply to go around, which you're going to see with a lot of the older crypto gaming coins. That's going to be the case. There are unlock events that you should be aware of. You know, for example, the Illuvium team is getting somewhere around $58,000 a day in Illuvium tokens, around 1,300 tokens, which, I mean, if we look at the amount of volume Illuvium is having, $31 million per day, it's not really anything. Like, it's nothing in comparison. So we don't really see that as a big event for Illuvium. But if you actually look at the all-time chart for the supply increases for Illuvium, you're going to see that this could be a very big deal. In fact, you'll see over here from 2021 until 2022, you know, we had 1 million ILV. And then very quickly, by the time we hit 2023, we went from 1 million ILV to 4 million ILV. That represents a 400% increase in the circulating supply in just a single year. And you're going to notice that this chart has been going up significantly slower than before. These little lines are getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, which is exactly what we want to be seeing. In fact, if you look at the amount of supply right now in March 1st, 2024, we started at 5.89 million ILV. And if you look at it from March 1st, 2025, it's going to go all the way to 6.3 million ILV, which would represent an around 20 to 30% increase in the amount of circulating supply of ILV tokens within the ecosystem, which actually isn't that bad. That's not that many ILV tokens. We can see that it kind of just baselines, and it's something you should note because it's important to distinguish what was happening back then with what is happening now. It's a significantly different story with many of these older coins that had terrible tokenomics during the bear market. And now that we're in this bull, it's actually pretty good. You're going to see a lot of these newer gaming coins. People go out there and they say, oh, new is wealth. You know, stop focusing on these older gaming coins because their time to shine has already gone by. It's at an $800 million market cap. There's no way that it can get back to where it was before. But you couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, Ronin, Pixels, Illuvium, they've all shown that immediate price action gains will happen during this cycle, and they will be pretty harsh. So here's where I'm at in terms of Illuvium. Here's my alpha. I am very excited for Illuvium. So when it comes to the Illuvium Overworld beta futures, I've actually been looking forward to this one a lot because they have done a complete overhaul of their game. I'm going to be honest with you. The environment sucked for ILV when it came out for Overworld. Arena wasn't that great. Illuvium Beyond didn't have anything to look forward to. And there were a lot of criticisms that honestly were 100% correct. But Illuvium, their team, they've taken it with stride. Criticism, it's something they can take. And the Illuvium Overworld beta, which comes out in Q2 2024, looks absolutely incredible. It looks so good. If you didn't know, Illuvium actually goes ahead and has a governance system. It has a bunch of different members, some of them being content creators. A big shout out to Nijay and Mr. Skoriox. But they've gone ahead and done some proposals. For example, one that I think is really cool and should be highlighted is the Power World and what the devs can take note for Overworld. They talked about the fact that maybe we shouldn't have the auto battler component for Overworld, and instead we should just go ahead and double down on this hunting mechanism. I think it's great to have people that are influencers because let's be honest, I think that the world where it's going right now, influencers just know how to market things, and them having that presence just makes me that much more bullish on what Illuvium can achieve during this cycle, especially over here, free-to-play Zero Land. I mean, you got to have these free-to-play players to go ahead and continue to accrue players. Now let's talk about the products, because Illuvium has a lot of things. In fact, they are the people that are trying to coin this new term called IBG, or Interoperable Blockchain Gaming, where they have an open world exploration game, industrial city builder, auto battler, all on the Ethereum blockchain. But trust me, it's not just the Ethereum blockchain. Please, before anybody starts writing about gas fees, it's immutable X. They're on the layer 2 for ETH. It makes it all gasless. I think it's wonderful, exactly how it needs to be. And I'm not gonna lie, like you look at the top crypto gaming coins, and the number one with the $5 billion market cap is Immutable X. So there is no comparison here when it comes to gaming coins right now. So continuing on, you should probably know in terms of stakers on Illuvium right now, there's somewhere around 2 million ILV currently staked with 25,000 different stakers. That is a healthy amount of participating within governance. You're probably wondering, why are people putting their tokens into governance? Well, it's actually because Illuvium gives around 5% of their marketplace fees to stakers within governance. So every time they do, these dis mints or any mint within the Illuvium ecosystem, 5% of that is going straight to stakers. So there is an incentive, whereas if Illuvium becomes that game with millions upon millions of daily active users, that the people staking right now are going to be making those fat crypto bags, which I think is healthy. Staking governance, it's a use case that is almost necessary in the current crypto gaming landscape. It creates that sense of scarcity where people are putting their coins away to get a certain reward, and I think that's something that Illuvium should continue to do and double down on, and it's great to see that they're not shying away from it. So let's get into price prediction land, because it's that time in the video. We're at an $856 million market cap right now at $136. Fun fact here, if you look at the current price to market cap, it is significantly different. Like I was saying before, we're actually not that far away from the old Illuvium market cap. This is where I become a bit of a contrarian when it comes to price predictions. Typically speaking, you'll see, crypto YouTubers talk about the fact that they want to be conservative, and that I want to go ahead and compare it to past all-time highs. They'll go ahead and pull up, coins like AXS and Axie Infinity, where last bull cycle, they went all the way to the $10 to $12 billion market cap. I don't believe in that, though. I think that the current crypto gaming bull market is going to be so much larger. I'm talking about magnitudes larger than any bull cycle we have ever seen. So to compare it to AXS is kind of ridiculous. I think that these price predictions are way too conservative, and I think that Illuvium has way more room to go ahead and grow on. Something else you should also know is, like, if you take a traditional company like Electronic Arts, where their market cap is $36 billion, to hit $36 billion on the stock market is so much harder than hitting a $36 billion market cap in the crypto markets. And the reason for that is all you need to do is get buyers to agree that all of the Illuvium tokens in the supply are worth $36 billion in terms of a total market cap. So it's not one for one. Don't think that, if it hits a $36 billion market cap, that all of a sudden it's just worth more than Electronic Arts. Currencies are a lot more complicated than people make them out to be. And it's significantly easier to hit those numbers when you are a cryptocurrency. So with this out of the way, I personally believe that not only will Illuvium likely hit past all-time high within Axie Infinity's market cap, with over $10 billion, I could easily see this being in the $15 to $20 billion market cap range during this bull cycle alone. I'm talking about late 2025, because of the simple fact that Illuvium Overworld Q2, it's going to be coming out. I'm sure by the time we get to 2025, it'll be fully released. It seems like a lot of the marketing for their base token promotions is ending, and the marketing for the full-scale launch is beginning. So in my humble opinion, I think Illuvium's finally at that state where they're ready to begin marketing their game in full scale. They've already shown some level of growth with over 3,000 active users on the Illuvium Arena beta. Of course, that isn't enough to warrant a $15 to $20 billion Illuvium price, but I do humbly believe that with the crypto gaming markets potentially being valued over $500 billion this cycle alone, that an Illuvium price prediction of $15 to $20 billion being one of the flagship games of IMX, currently valued at $5 billion, I think IMX can hit over $40 billion in terms of a market cap. It's not far-fetched for me at all. It's just not a far-fetched price prediction. If you wanted a conservative price prediction, if you wanted a conservative strategy for what you should be doing with Illuvium right now, here's what I would say to you. I would say that if you are a person that is very conservative, like myself, I make these crazy price predictions, but I'm also self-aware that likely it's not gonna hit it, right? There's a high likelihood that it just doesn't go to $15 to $20 billion in terms of a market cap. So my golden rule, and this is the golden rule I use for all coins, is that you do your initial investment, then at either a 2x to a 5x, you take your initial investment out. I don't care about all-time highs and resistances and supports. None of that matters to me. I do the 2x to 5x, go ahead, take your initial investment out, and then afterwards, I wait until a 10 to 25x to take the rest, or whenever you feel uncomfortable, because my humble opinion here is that if you feel personally uncomfortable with your investments, you should not be holding them. If there's ever a moment where you feel uncomfortable, you have taken on too much risk and you are not ready to be holding something. It's like getting into a relationship that you're just not prepared for mentally. So make sure that you are doing your due diligence on what your personal strategy is holding on to these different crypto coins. To the people that say that, these old coins aren't going to go back up, I do think that there will be solid price gains. I could easily see an over $1,000 Illuvium, a 10x on Illuvium. I'm also going to be honest with you when I say that some of these crypto coins with a $10 to $20 million market cap, they're just going to perform better because they have a lower market cap. So, doing a 10x on 20 million is only 200 million. But doing a 10x on Illuvium, that's already at 156 million. That's an $8.5 billion market cap, right? So I would say, somewhere around that 10 to 20x range is like that peak euphoria. Bitcoin's at like $150,000 to $200,000. Everybody's a hard moon boy going crazy over crypto games. That to me is not far-fetched. If you're conservative, like $200 to $500, that should be your range. If you're a moon boy like me, those are the potential ranges. Of course, none of this is financial advice. Likelihood is that it does nothing that we say because I am not some kind of like technical analysis expert, but I do have a good gauge on what crypto gaming coins have done in the past and what they likely will do in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got your due diligence done for Illuvium. There's a lot to look forward to, and there's not a lot of time this cycle. So until the next time, stay classy, and that's all.